Alrighty. What is going on, YouTube? One only X-Ram here. I'm gonna try a vlog out here with the new Senna 30K that I got. Unfortunately, it's with the Hero 4, so I have a little sound pack that goes with it. I'm not too convinced that the audio is as good as it should be. Anyways, the purpose of today's video is 5 things I hate about my V4 Speciale. I know, I'm gonna be like these weird faces looking at the screen going, what the fuck's he talking about? How can you hate that bike? There's 5 things that took me 730 miles to figure out that I didn't like. One of them was actually almost immediately. First off, again, Ducati, you have this beautiful screen right here, right? Nowhere on it does it have a gas gauge. I mean, it's a very simple thing. And on these bikes where the fuel consumption isn't the greatest, however, it's a lot better than what it used to be. Having a gauge would be hugely helpful. Again, you know, it's a race bike, so why do you need a gas gauge? Well, we ride it. Some people daily ride it. I don't ride it daily like I normally would, especially during monsoon season here in Arizona. But it would be nice to have. So, Ducati, next bike, find a place to put a gas gauge. To go along with the gauges, while this dash is nice, it's actually kind of boring. If you've looked at the Aprilia RSP4s, Yamaha R1s, their dash seems a little more well laid out, and it seems to be a little more lively, if you will. It's easier to look at. I think they could have done more, a little better color contrast to it than just black and white. You know, for 40 grand, that's kind of what you'd almost expect. The next thing is the slack in the throttle. Now, you don't notice it when you're getting on the bike, when you're really revving it out and everything else. You don't really notice it then. When you notice it the most is when you come up to a stoplight and you're making a turn and you got to slow down a lot and then get back on the power. You're coming to a turn that you have to brake hard for and you're really slowed down, then you want to kind of ease back on the power. There's a slight gap in movement where nothing happens and then all of a sudden it happens. Like a turn like this, nothing, now there's something. So that little bit of play is really tough to be smooth on those slow turns. Now, I do know that there's a guy on here, on YouTube, that sells spacers, specifically for that reason. Are they good? Hey, he says they're good, so I'm not gonna argue one way or the other. Am I gonna put one on my bike? Probably not. I don't like messing with OEM stuff with aftermarket parts. It's just not how I am. But there's a cure for it. Is it a problem? No, you get used to it, but it's something, again, on a $40,000 bike. It's a little frustrating nonetheless, especially if you're a new rider. At least I hope you're not a brand new rider to this bike, but a new rider to the brand of Ducati, you kind of almost expect more. So I had 1199S, right? Those mirrors were absolute garbage. They're the same skinny stems like this, but they pivot, so you can actually fold them back. That feature was actually kind of nice. This, however, like the 1299, don't fold. So not only do you have a mirror that you can't collapse, it's also got the thin stalk, so it's kind of flimsy. If you bump it, you might break it, and it flaps in the wind like nothing. You can't see anything behind you at all. I know you can put, you know, the mirror blocks on, you can put a mirror down here and everything, but that's not the point. This is what it came from the factory with. All the other brands have the mirrors figured out. They know how to put a set of mirrors that don't shake like crazy. They're stiffer. They have a little baffle inside where the mirror is at, so they don't vibrate. Ducati still has yet to do that. 3 bikes. The 1199, the 1299 and Rosario, and this. All garbage mirrors. And I thought they had it almost figured out with the 1299 because they made the stalks a little thicker and they seemed to mount it a little better. They went backwards. I don't understand. I'm gonna put a little video of the walk around to the front of this bike. And while the lights seem really cool and menacing, the headlights themselves at night are almost useless. Almost. I mean, they obviously shine out in front of you. Because they're inset back in the fairing, in the nose piece, the field of view or the beam is actually cut off by that. So instead of how the 12 and 1199 would go a little wider and you can see a little better, this has that cut off. You can't actually see that anymore. And it is terrible. I rode home one night, probably the first night I got the bike. I'd go in a turn like this, and I couldn't see the fucking turn. I couldn't see the edges of the turn because the lights were like half on this side and nothing on the other side. It was terrible. And the high beams, they don't work. I had to re-aim them because they were illuminating the same exact spot that, wow, I got lucky there. They're illuminating the same exact spot that, I'm a little taken back because I just went by 2 sheriffs, and if it wasn't for this little shithead in front of me going slow, I might have been pulled over. Anyways, the low beam and the high beam matched up. The high beam didn't illuminate anymore. It actually illuminated the same. Those are my 5 things. The gas gauge, the gauges in general being kind of boring. The throttle having a lot of play before it really does anything in slow speeds. The mirrors, god-awful mirrors, and lastly, the headlights. The headlights are so bad at night that it's kind of dangerous to ride this at night. No bullshit. And that, my friends, are the 5 things I hate about my Panigale V4. Now, do I love this bike? You bet your sweet ass I do. This thing is fucking incredible. Why did I choose the only fucking day they decided to do maintenance on this fucking road? God damn it. Oh my god, this sucks. Well, not the day to ride up the... Not the day to ride up the mountain, that's for damn sure. Fuck. Ah, this sucks.